Lexington police are keeping watch on a home as part of a death investigation that began last night.
Kentucky State Police now confirm that they're searching for two men who witnesses said were swept away by the floodwaters in Johnson County.
Still, those mostly cloudy skies outside make it look like it's going to rain all day long, but only a very slight chance of rain today, so most stay dry. How long do we hold on to that pattern, though? That's the key. I'll have that coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
And good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Barbara Bailey.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon. We're tracking a breaking story right now in Lexington. Police are at a reported shooting at a business near downtown.
Now, it happened just about a half hour ago at Wildcat Liquor on South Broadway. That's just down the street from Rupp Arena. Police have roped off the business with crime scene tape.
The fire department tells us the coroner has been called to the scene. Now, WKYT's Mark Barber has just arrived there. He's joining us live now with the breaking details we have so far. Mark?
Afternoon, Bill. I just spoke with police officers a moment ago, and they told me that there's not a whole lot that they can tell me at this moment because they're still trying to figure out what happened here at this very well-known liquor shop here on the corner of Maxwell Street and South Broadway. However, officers did tell me that one man was found dead inside this liquor store here. Now, this is a very emotional scene. When I walked up here, right outside of this crime tape, a woman who was here, she started crying. Her lower lip, it was trembling. She said that she was the wife. That's all she said, and all she kept saying was, "I don't know anything, I'm the wife." Now, she is still here. People have been coming up to her. They've been hugging her. They've been hugging her neck. She's been shaking. It's been very difficult to watch this. And one other thing that we have seen here is somebody walked out of this store. They were sitting here on a stoop outside of this liquor shop, their head in their hands. Their lower lip was also trembling, and they were one of those people who walked over to the woman who said she was a wife, hugged her very, very tightly, and then police took her off. So a very emotional scene out here is obviously people very shaken. They're trying to figure out what happened. Even the woman claiming to be the wife, trying to figure out what happened here. Now, we do know that the robbery homicide unit has been called here at this time. Police are not saying if this was a robbery. However, again, we do know that one man is dead, and police officers say that they will be giving us more information here in just a few minutes. So we hope to bring you that coming up on WKYT News at 12:30. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, obviously at the moment a very confusing and very concerning scene near downtown Lexington.
And we will keep you posted with the very latest details. Kentucky remains under a state of emergency this midday because of massive flooding.
One of the hardest hit areas is Johnson County, where 2 people have died and several are still missing.
WKYT's Sean Moody has an update now from police on the search and rescue efforts. He begins our top story team weather coverage at noon. Sean?
Kentucky State Police say they can definitively say now that there are 2 men who they're searching for who witnesses saw swept away by floodwaters. As rescuers search for those 2 men, people who want to help all the others stuck in the flood area are ramping up their efforts here at the high school. There are 4 other people who police say are unaccounted for, but they want to emphasize that there's no evidence that anything has happened to those people. They said these are not the same 4 who were unaccounted for last night. Search and rescue workers are still going through the areas today looking for anyone who needs help. Police said those 2 men who were swept away came from 2 different incidents. They haven't said where they were seen or specifically where their priority search areas are today. They did say they still consider this a search and rescue operation, not a recovery operation. A strong storm blew through here yesterday evening. Rescuers had to stop for a bit because of that, but they did pick it back up again. There was also a rescue worker who had to be checked out after getting stuck in the mud. Police said he was stuck up to somewhere between his knees and his waist. They said his injuries were not life-threatening. State police say it's pretty unforgiving in that flood area.
It's very, very austere conditions. It's hindered a great deal by some very large debris fields, and I mean, I'm personally going through seeing piles of foliage and other kinds of debris 12, 15 feet high, so it's very difficult to get through.
Now, the volunteer efforts are also still going strong inside Johnson Central High School. Volunteers will bring several of these supplies out to the flood zone throughout the afternoon. In Johnson County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
And if you'd like to help but aren't sure where to start, you can contact the Johnson County Judge Executive's office. You can find that information on WKYT.com. It's now confirmed that 3 tornadoes touched down in Kentucky during Monday's storms. The National Weather Service says an EF1 hit Greene County and an EF0 caused damage in Adair and Cumberland counties.
The National Weather Service is in Fleming County at this noon hour. They're surveying damage caused by strong winds there. Emergency managers say a mobile home flipped on Cherry Grove Road near Flemingsburg during last night's storms. 4 people were inside at the time. They have all been taken to the hospital and were checked out, said to be okay now. Flash flooding has also been causing problems in Menifee County. Water is covering the halls of an elementary school in Frenchburg. And WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at our live desk with a look at the cleanup efforts, continuing our top story team weather coverage at noon. Michelle?
Hey, Bill. Cleanup begins today after a new round of flash flooding last night in Menifee County. The video you're seeing is an eyewitness video Patty sent us from inside the elementary school in Frenchburg. Water from Indian Creek across from the school flooded into every classroom of the school within 5 minutes. As dozens of people showed up to begin the cleanup process at the school across the creek, R.A. Howard is trying to figure out how to clean up his own property following what he says is the worst storm he has seen in that area.
While it was raining, I could only stand in my kitchen and look at it, you know, and couldn't see very much because it was raining too hard. Heaviest rain ever I've seen.
Now talking back about the school, water was so high in parts of the school that trash cans were floating. Teachers at the school today told us that all carpets will have to be replaced along with books and school supplies. From the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Michelle, thank you. And school is expected to begin on schedule in Menifee County in about 3 weeks. Well, we're getting a much-needed break from that wet weather today, giving us a chance to dry out from the recent showers and storms. That trend is expected to last through the weekend. We're finally on a roll. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris live in our First Alert Weather Center with that look ahead.
Well, you look outside and it looks like it could rain on us at any time. I think we're just kind of in that zone where if we see clouds up above, well, we think it's going to rain on us in thunderstorms, but not so much for today. We only have a very slight chance. It's mainly just clouds overhead, and I don't expect any of us to pick up heavy rainfall whatsoever. If you do get a shower roll over you, it's a stray shower, and that's about it. So about a 20% chance is where we have it. Things look pretty good. Temperatures actually feel really nice because of those clouds, so clouds stick over us. I don't have a problem with you. 80 degrees, slight chance of rain. We'll take you into the next few days. The question is, can we hold on to this trend? That's the big question. I'll have that answer in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you. Police are investigating the death of an elderly woman in Lexington as suspicious. The victim's family says they found her last night in her home on River Park Circle near Trent Boulevard. Now police are hoping a black Saturn will give them clues as how she died. WKYT's Victor Puente has reaction now from concerned neighbors in this Crime Tracker report. Victor?
Well, Lexington police are still parked outside of this home. They haven't released much information in this case. They tell us they're still waiting for some evidence to be processed. The neighbors of the woman who lived here tell us she will be missed. Lexington police tell us they were called to this home on River Park Tuesday evening after the family of an elderly woman hadn't heard from her in more than a day. The family went to check on her and found her dead inside the home. Police say her death is suspicious, but haven't said how she died. The coroner said they couldn't identify any individual wounds. One of her neighbors told us the woman lived at the home with her son and daughter.
She was so nice and kind. She took a lot of pride in, taking care of her yard and trimming her hedges and her rose bushes.
Police haven't identified the woman. Her body was sent to the state medical examiner's office in Frankfort.
All of us here in the neighborhood will feel her loss. She's been a constant friend throughout the entire neighborhood.
That neighbor also told us that the woman had a black four-door Saturn that was her personal vehicle, but it was gone last night when police arrived. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. Homicide detectives tell us they're waiting on autopsy results before they release any more information about this case. The penalty phase is underway in the trial of a man convicted of killing a teenager in Lexington. 16-year-old Chazz Black was gunned down in an apartment on Palumbo Drive in 2012. A jury found Deontay Hayes guilty of both murder and assault. Now, according to the Herald Leader, his cousin, Dominique Godfrey, was found not guilty on the same charges. Well, the world's largest retailer is facing off today against the world's largest online retailer in a Christmas in July battle.
And customers are benefiting. Amazon says Prime members will enjoy thousands of deals that it claims are better than those on Black Friday on everything from sought-after devices and tools to popular toys and pet supplies. But Walmart is offering some big deals of its own this week that don't require any membership.
Well, members of the Big Blue Nation officially have a new spot to look for love. BBN Meetup.com went live this morning. So far, nearly 1,700 Kentucky fans have signed up for the dating service. In fact, the site has been so popular that it crashed 3 times on the first day of registration. The head of Sports Dating Inc., which started the site, says Kentucky fans are passionate. So he's not surprised by the interest in the site.
An idea whose time has come, right?